Hey everybody, Matumbo here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are playing some more Historic here on Magic Arena. Now today we are going to play a different type of deck here. I'm actually a little excited and a little hesitant to be playing this deck at the same time and featuring this in a video, but I'm doing this to get your feedback and let me know what you think about this type of deck. So real quick though, before we hop into the deck, would like to remind everybody, if you are enjoying the content, the video, the channel itself, please hit that subscribe button to help grow the channel, as well as hitting that like button, checking out all of the cool links in the description below, as well as joining the Discord, and leave a comment letting us know what you want to see in a future video. So with that being said, let's hop right into today's deck, and we are playing Budget Wizard Aggro. So, like I said, I'm a little, I'm both excited and hesitant about playing this deck. Now, we want to potentially start looking at different budget builds. We have had some comments down in some previous videos, and I've seen it on different Discord channels. I've seen it on some of the Reddit channels. I've just seen a lot of comments on different videos talking about how Magic Arena is not necessarily fun for them because of the fact that they feel like you have to spend a lot of money in order to win. Yeah, obviously it's going to help. You know, the better collection you have, the more decks you can play, the better your deck could potentially be. But at the end of the day, it's just going to really be about which cards are the best for that given matchup or that day itself. So I really wanted to try to quench some of those some of those people who are out there saying that this is strictly pay to win and all of that, crazy nonsense. And also to help some of the newer players that might be getting frustrated by running into all these crazy decks all the time. So if this is something that you want to see in the future, if you want me to focus on, maybe one budget build a week, please let me know, because this is something I could definitely do. Again, I want to bring as many new people into the Magic community as we can. I don't want people to get frustrated whenever they see all these crazy decks that only have rares and mythics just destroying them. I want them to know that there are ways to build decks in order to potentially get around that. And at the same time, if you are looking at budget builds, let me know what you consider a budget build. Are we allowed to have X amount of rare wild cards or rares or mythics in our deck? Could we consider a deck that has 4 rares and 1 mythic still a budget? Or do we need to look at something in the form of Artisan, which this is, because this only has commons and uncommons in it? Just let me know what you think down in the comments below on what we are going to consider a budget, and if you want to see more decks like this in the future. So let's hop right into the Budget Wizard Aggro deck that we built here. So again, all of our creatures are wizards, so they're going to have a lot of different synergies within themselves, and a lot of the cards that we're playing are actually going to be synergistic with those wizards. So let's really go through them. So we have 2 copies of Siren Stormtaper. This is a 1-mana flyer for 1 that has an ability that says sacrifice it for a blue to counter a spell or an ability that targets you or a creature you control. So if they go to remove one of your other creatures or deal something to you and you don't want that to happen, you can sacrifice this wizard for 1 blue and stop it from happening. Get to Lava Runner. This is a 1-mana 1/2, and it says as long as there are 2 or more instants or sorceries in your graveyard, he becomes a 2/2 with haste. So if we're like burning and opting and doing all kinds of stuff and we draw one of these, at that point now it's a 1-mana 2/2 haster. It's pretty good. We have 4 copies of Opt. This is going to help our draws. We get to scry 1 and then draw a card for 1 blue. So maybe we're looking for a land, or maybe we're looking for more creatures or burn or counter. Anything. This is just going to help us go through our deck a lot faster. 4 copies of Shock. Shock is just a 1-mana 2 damage spell. 2 damage to anything. Cards like this are, staple in aggro, like aggro decks with red. You're just trying to keep the tempo on and just keep the force and the pressure coming. And this is good for removing small creatures, maybe ramp, like Llanowar Elves, Gilded Goose, stuff like that. We have 4 copies of Viashino Pyromancer. This is a 2-mana 2/1. When it says enter the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. So it's going to deal 2 damage to them when it comes into play, and then it's going to start attacking for 2. Really, really good. We have a couple copies of Beam Splitter Mage. This is something that I think has a lot of potential. We're not really utilizing it to the fullest in our deck, but this says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets this creature, you actually get to copy it and target all of your other creatures as well. So that could have some potential. We have 3 copies of Lightning Stormkin. It's a 2-mana 2/2 haster with flying. And let's hop to our last creature here, because this is really where the synergy is going to happen. Adeliz, the Cinder Wind, 3-mana 2/2 flying haste. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, wizards you control get +1/+1. So if we have Adeliz in play, and we just start casting any of our spells, all of our wizards are going to each get +1/+1. And we're just going to start growing them up, and then we're going to be able to swing. We're going to deal a ton of damage in one turn, and hopefully just overpower them, and they're either going to die that turn or just be in a position to where they can't recover from. We have 4 copies of Lightning Strike. This is a 2-mana deal 3 damage spell. This is one of the staples in a mono red or a red aggro deck. You have to have these 3 damage spells that are cheaply costed. So 2 mana, 3 damage to anything. Run Amok. So this is a card I wanted to try out with the Beam Splitter Mage. If it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't. But this card in itself is actually pretty good with any of our attackers. So for 2 mana, target attacking creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. So if we target Beam Splitter Mage with this, the Beam Splitter Mage is going to get +3/+3. And then any other creatures we have are also going to get +3/+3 in trample. So this has potential to, deal not just 3 damage, but 6, 9, 12, a ton of damage. And then we're rounding this out with a couple of wizard spells. We have 2 copies of Wizard's Retort. So this is typically a 3-mana counter spell. But if we have a wizard in play, it's going to cost 1 less. It's only going to cost 2 blue. And the same goes for Wizard's Lightning. We have... it's typically a 3-mana instant that deals 3 damage to anything. But if we have a wizard, and again, all of our creatures are wizards, this only costs 1 red. So as you can see, the art is pretty related here. And yeah, since our deck is low to the ground, we're capping out at 3 mana, sometimes 2. We only have 20 land. We have just 8 of each basics, and then we have 4 copies of Swiftwater Cliffs in order to gain life and tap for either color when it comes into play. So again, this is a very budget build. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more budget builds in the future, and again, what you consider a budget build. How many rares or how many mythics, if all at any, would we consider? So let's hop into the gameplay, and we're going to run out 7 games and see how we do, and then we'll be back at the wrap-up. All right, well, we're going to test a budget build. We're going to see if it is possible to just go after different decks in Historic based on having no rares in our deck. I know some people have been complaining about cost, and I know it's possible. I mean, you really need to consider that you're never going to win every game, even if you have all of the best decks, or if your deck is specifically geared towards a certain meta, you're still not going to win everything. All right, so we're going to attack first. Doesn't look like they actually have anything at all. Oh, maybe they do. Oh, rattle chains, okay. Advanced spirits. Interesting. Well, fortunately for us, It does suck that we had to burn 2 burn spells on that. But at the same time, I mean... it's pretty good. So we're going to really have to draw good here. This deck really has stabilized against us pretty well. And that's probably going to do it. Yep. So we give +3/+3 in trample. We give all of our creatures +3/+3 in trample. We trample over. We have a lightning to kill them after that. And so, yeah. So again, their deck. Seriously, want to highlight the fact that they're playing a bunch of rares, and actually, that's all they played were rares, and all we played were commons and uncommons. All right, game. We are gonna hydrate into game 2 against the living statue. And this is a weird hand. We're going first, so I guess this is a keep. We can clear the way. I mean, this is a lot of damage, depending on what they're playing. Maybe they're playing like green or something along those lines. Roll. So, alright, so they have a growth spiral. Fear the 1 damage. Alright, incoming growth spiral. Alright, so let's talk about how to build your collection. I think one of the best ways to build your collection is going to be by doing the events. Actually going to respond to this? Doubt it. So the events are in the game. They may be hidden. There's like a little slider up in the top right. And yeah, we're gonna go and play this guy. This actually leaves Wizard's Retort open. So there's a little slider in the top right that you can click on to open up a ton more different play styles. So you have access to historic events and standard events. They are these like little mini tournaments that you can play for 500 gold. Do we counter this? I don't think so. But we are going to go ahead and bolt in response, or lightning strike in response to negate the damage. That way they can't play land and censor us like they did the last time. Alright. So I don't think we're actually going to do anything else. We're just gonna ride this out for right now. So these events, they cost 500 gold, and you get to play until you hit 7 wins or 3 losses. Your rewards grow based on the number of... I don't think we actually want to... I don't think we want to play this out because we can't kill them. And they might have a Wrath because they are playing a control-based deck. So I think we're just going to go ahead and swing in. And I want them to think... that we have another counter. So 7 wins or 3 losses. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But essentially what that means is we are going to we're going to be paying 500 gold to play a little mini tournament. 7 wins, 3 losses, whichever comes first. You're guaranteed a return regardless of your record. So you get to, all right, let's play this. This guarantees that we can't get settled. Okay. That puts them up to 4. We still have lethal. Oh, good game. And so in these little mini tournaments, like I said, you're guaranteed a return on your investment. So you have a reward based on how many wins you get, and you're guaranteed, you can win up to 1,000 gold, so you could double your gold investment, but you're always going to get at least 3 what they call ICRs, in-game card rewards. Those are going to be guaranteed uncommon rewards, and those uncommons will help build your collection, but at the same time, you have a very small chance to re-roll, and the game's going to do it automatically on the back end, but you have a small chance to re-roll those uncommons into rares and mythics. So I've definitely gone, and it's been a while, but I've gone 0-3 in an event before, and I don't think you get any gold back, or you might get something like 50 gold back for going 0-3. I'll go check after this, and you're guaranteed 3 of these rewards. Actually, you know what? Let me go look, and then we'll talk about it some more. All right. So yeah, so we checked. You're actually guaranteed 100 gold back if you go 0-3, and you're guaranteed 3 uncommons. So you're really only losing 100 gold or 400 gold if you go 0-3, but at the same time, you're guaranteed those 3 uncommons minimum, and you can roll up to rares and mythics. You know, it is obviously rare that happens, but it is possible. So we're going to play this out. We want him to think that we are on mono blue, when in reality we're on blue red, which is called Izzet. And we really want to draw a land here. A land here makes our hand really, really good. All right, not a land. It's going to start forcing through damage. All right, so they're going to scry to fix their draw. And they're obviously looking for some kind of board clear, probably. This just says whenever a creature enters the battlefield. Okay. Okay, so they definitely have a Wrath. That's unfortunate. Oh, an Obliterator. Okay, okay. Can we kill them? So we attack for 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Yep. We have lethal. So in case you're not familiar, so this is going to pump everything +1/+1. Before blockers, we are going to pump our flyer so they can't block this, and we're swinging over them. All right. So yeah, every time we cast an instant, all of our wizards are going to get +1/+1. So all the wizards get +1/+1. We gave this +3/+3, which is actually an extra +1/+1 because of the ability. And then we shock, and then +1/+1 again. So yeah, that's a bunch of damage. And because they didn't have a wrath effect is something that kills all of your creatures. They just really didn't have a chance. And we didn't want to attack with this just in case, because whenever a source deals damage to this, we have to sacrifice that many permanents, even though we wouldn't have to do that until after all the damage and they were dead. So it didn't really matter. We just didn't want to do it. So yeah, so again, showing you all, and I know some of you know all of this stuff. This is really for new players, because I want people to embrace the game and know that just because you're playing against this is an unfortunate draw, so especially against a mono white life gain, we have to kill that. We have to kill this okay, we have to kill that too. And we have to kill that. Hey, look, we got all kinds of stuff we have to kill. So, we're going to go ahead and play this. All right. We have to start getting in. So we can kill something in response. So what he did is he gave this lifelink. He still gets to grow this, which is unfortunate. We really just can't allow them to have any creatures that are going to be constantly growing with Heliod. This is a hard card to deal with. It's indestructible. Why would you make a token there? So this is a good draw. All right, well, that was pretty fortunate. So they didn't draw a lot of their good creatures, and we were able to burn out enough creatures to where they didn't want to play anymore. Yeah, because once this gets going, especially against a deck like this is just going to be pretty much unbeatable. Anytime he gains life, he gets to put a +1/+1 counter on any of his creatures. And yeah, and this is indestructible. Once he gets 5 white mana worth of creatures or permanents in play, this becomes a creature. He could start giving lifelink to other creatures, and yeah. So, good game, good game. But again, this is and I know this is in the middle of the video, and I know I hit on it a little bit in the intro, but this is a experimental video that I wanted to try to see if people were interested in different budget builds. Again, you know, I want more people into Magic, and I don't want people to be afraid of the fact that yeah, you're going to be playing people that have really big collections. Do we keep this? Oh man, we should have just kept the other hand. All right, well, we're going to keep this. We're going to get rid of that. It's unfortunate. Oh man, give us... We're definitely gonna... Well, we have a, I would say, a 90% chance of losing this game. Turn 1 Llanowar Elf is very unfair. So they already have more mana than us. They have a ton more mana than us now. And they're playing Bant. So I imagine they probably go Forest Nissa here. Oh no, they're just going to explore. Okay. Maybe they go Forest, Island, Uro. Yeah, so they get an island here, and then they can play Uro, and then play that Forest. Yeah, this is a... No, okay. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me, people. There's not a 7-drop that I can think of that we're afraid of. I mean, yeah, we know they have a Forest in their hand, so... Wrath, huh? Alright, well, let's deal a little bit of damage to you. And they play the Forest. Next turn is the turn we really have to worry about. Next turn is Ugin, the Ugin turn. If they can't kill these... Oh, they had it. They had it. They had it. They had it. And they have the Uro, and they have the cards to get back Uro. So this is essentially the card you never want to see when you're playing. And that's even if you have a good collection. You just never want to play against Uro. Uro is not fun. At all. And we only have... Oh, oof. Oof. No attacks. Yep, there's Nissa. I would love for them to attack with this Hydroid Crisis. So yeah, this is one of the most degenerate decks in Historic right now. Luckily, we actually got to face it, so you could see how oppressive it is. And this is with a bad draw. This person had a very bad draw. Ideally, Uro comes out on turn 2, starts ramping him up even faster. They should be attacking. There's really nothing that we could be doing. 4, 3, 4. Kills that. I mean, we dealt with some creatures, but on the backside of that, we don't have anything else. But yeah, you see how quickly they recover from that? They're back at 18. And they're going to be constantly hitting us for 6 and then 9 and then 15. Oh. Alright, well. There's Nissa's protective big brother. So we're dead next turn. There are absolutely no draws in our deck that stop this. Alright, good game. So that is part of the game. You are going to run into these people. It is possible to beat them, but you have to have a really good draw. We had a bad draw. They had a bad draw. The game would have been over a lot faster had they had a good draw. But, you know, it's part of the game. Even if we were playing one of our really powerful decks, we still might lose to that. Cards that have that are colorless, that have really huge powerful abilities, are not really healthy for the game. This is not something they should have brought back. But I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. We just gotta, you know, take our beats and then move on to the next game. All right, Ven MTG, welcome to the game. All right, what are we doing here? What are we doing? We are wanting to draw a land. Probably playing against mono red. Oh, red white. Okay, this is a good draw. Oh, we're playing against Mardu. Okay, okay. Well, in that case, deal some damage. All right, Mardu, what are you doing? Ouch. Chromatic Lantern, okay. Thoughtseize. Well, I bet Shock is going away. One, two, three, four, five. And I'm counting this as 5 because once we cast a spell, it'll get bigger. 8. We maybe should have fired this off and gotten an extra point of damage in. Seal away. What do they target? Wow, really? Yeah, we're just gonna let it happen. We could sack it to counter that, but we're just gonna let it happen. Put them down to 4. And they know we have 2 hasters, so it's gonna be up to them. Yep. Yeah, they just had no way to deal with the barrage. So, I mean, they dealt 2 damage to themselves. They gained 3 life, so they essentially netted themselves an extra life to be at 21. But they knew that we had lethal next turn, so good game. All right, it's game 7. Call this the final boss. We are, I guess we're gonna keep this. This is a weird hand. We don't have any 1 or 2 drops, but we can potentially get there with an opt. We're playing against Slick Jagger. Need him to join the table. Sometimes this is also part of the game, waiting on our slow opponents to figure out if they're going to mulligan or keep. Sometimes they click to join the game and then walk off to do something, like get a bottle of water or run to the bathroom, not expecting the game to pair as quickly as it did. All right, well, we're finally in the game. All right, we just have a slow roper. Oh man, isn't it? It's crazy that you took that long to figure out you wanted to do that. All right, we're gonna keep this. This is a 2-drop. So we're gonna ignore the elf. I think sometimes it's best to kill the elf on turn 1 or 2, but I think we have to try to outpace them. So we get to deal 9 damage to them next turn, put them at 5. The thing, though, is their hand can just spiral out of control. This Elvish Archdruid taps for mana equal to the number of elves they control. So they can essentially play some elves and then be able to tap this for like 4 or 5 mana and then play something ridiculous out of their hand. That pumps elves. So they may know now that they have to try to race us as well. See, this is a lot of damage for them. Look at that. So we're dead next turn because they had a pretty ridiculous draw. So I think I want to play this for the life gain, right? 7, 11, 16, 22. But I think we have to kill this. And I think we have to draw a burn spell in order to win, or some kind of instant. Yep, we're gonna let that hit because it doesn't really do anything this turn. That's fine. That's fine as well. All right, game. What do you give us? Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Good game. Good game, my friend. Good game. We drew what we had to. And we outraced a pretty insane elf draw. That was an insane elf draw with them being able to collected company on that turn. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So again, this completely proves that playing no rares in your deck is completely viable and in a format that rewards you for playing rares and myths. All right, everybody, welcome back to the wrap-up. So that was a lot of fun. This deck actually did really, really well. Again, we went 6-1. We lost to what is arguably one of the best decks in the format. His deck was a little less streamlined because of the fact that they were playing Bant as opposed to just Simic. Again, Bant is blue, white, green, and Simic is just blue, green. So typically decks like that are just playing blue, green. They're going to ramp really quickly into Nissa, and then they're going to play Ulamog, maybe Ugin. Any combination of those as quickly as possible with Uro and Hydroid Krasis. They're just going to gain life. They're going to really just outpace you and play super powerful cards. Yeah, we lost to that. They had a bad draw. We also had a bad draw. But it is worth highlighting. I don't think we would have beat that deck unless we just had a phenomenal draw, and they had probably the draw that they had. That was really our only chance. But it was cool to see that this deck is able to beat a ton of other decks. That last game against Elves was super, super sweet. Being able to outpace them, I felt like they had a really insane draw. They even managed to land a Collected Company on us and put us at lethal potentially in one turn. But had we answered one of their lords and top decked that burn spell on that last turn, that was pretty nutty. And again, it does show you that anything is possible. You know, when you're playing Magic, you don't have to be playing rares. You don't have to be playing mythics. It is possible to do this in a style this format is really called Historic Artisan. And again, Artisan is uncommons and commons only. I did think about putting, you know, maybe a couple of rares in this deck. You know, we do get better mana fixing if we replace our Swiftwater Cliffs with, you know, some of the other lands. We could either play some of the shock lands or the check lands, you know, which allow our lands to not come into play tapped, which could be huge in regards to tempo. You know, we're never really wanting to have, if we kept a one land hand, we would not want a one land hand to be Swiftwater Cliffs and then not be able to play our one drop. You know, we want to be able to play, you know, our land untapped and just start the pressure immediately. And yeah, but again, this does show you that it is possible to play a budget build. And, you know, I want you guys to know that, again, you should be playing events. If you're a new player, you should be, you know, paying 500 gold, going into those events and, you know, trying to at least break even. If you do, you know, lose a few games, you're still going to get a little bit of a reward back. You're going to slowly grow your collection with those in-game card rewards. You know, you may not always hit a rare, but getting some uncommons is going to help your collection because you're going to be able to put those new uncommons in decks, try to build even more powerful even more powerful decks, and slowly you're just going to get there. And again, this is not an overnight. The only way to overnight your collection is just to dump all of the money into it. And even myself, you know, sometimes I won't craft a card because I don't want to waste the wild cards because I know that card is bad. And so what I'll do is I'll grind a little bit and maybe, okay, well, once I open one or two of those, then I'll craft the other one. So it's still a little bit of a grind fest on my end, even though I have a relatively full collection of at least all the super, you know, really, really good cards. And then it comes time to where I want to build a deck to try out. At that point, I'll grind a little bit in order to, in my eyes, earn the other copies of those cards. So it's still a grind, and that's what makes the game fun, at least for me. And hopefully, it's going to make the game fun for you. And I want to be here along for the ride with you as well. So hopefully, you're enjoying the budget build. Again, please let me know in the comments down below if you enjoy budget, if you want to see more budget builds, what you consider a budget, how many rares, how many mythics that would be, if at all any. And then again, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the channel, and please hit the like button. Please join the Discord. The link is down in the description below, as well as a ton of other links that you could check out. And yeah, I mean, you all are amazing, and I appreciate it. So I hope you enjoy this deck as much as I enjoyed playing it, because it was sweet to beat some of these decks with an artisan deck. So all right, well, until next time, please stay safe. We'll see you next time. Remember, this channel would not exist without such amazing viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for interacting with the channel and helping grow the community. And a very big special thank you to the Patreons listed here for supporting the channel.